So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're delighted to start today's evening by telling you about our project, 3D Additive Solutions. Our company's main mission is to provide an online platform for outsourcing high-scale production of 3D printed components to small and medium manufacturers in UK at the best quality and price. 3D printing technology can now be used to create any object and any materials by simply adding layer upon layer. That's why called additive manufacturing. And this object is lighter, stronger, and more importantly, can be printed in a single piece, no matter how complex it is, which reduces material waste and production cost. The technology was initially employed as a fast and easy method to create prototypes. However, more recently, 3 key industries started to integrate the technology into their manufacturing processes, like Ford representing the automotive company and Airbus representing the aerospace. The market is expanding. It has been doubling every 4 years since 2008, and it is expected to reach over 10 billion in 5 years from now. This is according to all the accurate forecasts we came across. Now, few challenges facing small and medium manufacturing switching to this technology. For example, the available 3D printers are not fast enough to be used in mass production, and it's not feasible to small and medium companies to buy tens and hundreds of those big and expensive 3D printers.
Okay, so at 3D Additive Solutions, we believe we can tackle these challenges by establishing a global network of industrial 3D printing suppliers. Through this, we can outsource large-scale production from multiple sources simultaneously. This will allow us to overcome the limitations in the size and speed of current 3D printers and will eliminate the need for customers to purchase these expensive machines themselves. As this is a relatively new technology, our consultancy department will raise awareness of 3D printing within companies that we have identified to benefit from additive manufacturing. And thirdly, at the convenience of both our customers and our suppliers, we promise to arrange delivery of all components within an agreed time frame. Our service will operate primarily through an online platform through which customers can upload their designs, stating any specifications for the quantity, cost, or materials required. We would then send out these requests to our suppliers, and any which choose to accept the order can produce a sample from which the customer can assess the quality and performance against their original design. If satisfied, they can then confirm this order through our platform and can track the progress of printing as it occurs. All components will go through a quality control assessment to make sure they meet the original specifications. We envisage several possible revenue streams with this business model. Our main source of income would come from charging up to 10% commission on the value of all orders. In future, we also hope to act as an additional channel to advertise and sell 3D printers on behalf of our industrial partners. And thirdly, as the price of 3D printers becomes more accessible, we hope to eventually supply components ourselves. Most of our key competitors in the market operate within the prototyping segment, which relies on high volumes of one-off transactions. However, we're planning to target the manufacturing industry, which will benefit from a stable, long-term, repeated orders in high-scale quantities. We believe we're the first company in the market to offer this.
Our initial market research strategy is to raise awareness and gain a feedback of our services through promoting our company by social media platforms. By participating in Lions Den Challenge and later hopefully proceeding to Santander University's competition, we hope to gain a support and wide exposure to both academic and corporate manufacturing professionals. So far we have contacted our potential supplier, Stratasys, who is the biggest player in the market, and potential customer Rolls-Royce. Our team, Marcus is our marketing person, I dealing with sales, and Joseph is our business development manager. However, we have identified the gap in our team's expertise, and we hope that exposure we gain in this competition will aid us in employing an engineer. Next steps, we hope by end of this year finish branding and start creating a network of our suppliers. In 2016, we hope to expand our team by consultants and designers. Money from seeds competitions like Lions Den Final and Santander University's competition will be used to develop our brand and recruit engineer. Thank you everyone for listening, and we look forward to taking any questions.
Right, that was great, thanks a lot. In your business plan, you talk about servicing companies who don't currently buy additive manufactured components. But in your financial model, you talk about selling to someone who's buying 100,000 a year of one component alone. So is there a disconnect between your ability to sell to people who aren't customers but might become, compared to your business model, which says you're selling to existing customers, and then what are you adding to General Electric or British Aerospace, who are already expert in the space?
The financing model is very dependent on success in competitions, and of course you've got to win a lot of stuff before you can get there. And I applaud the confidence in there and the audacity to come up first in front of the others and say, we've won it. But is there a plan B for raising money?
On how you will protect your position in the marketplace, because you're effectively going to be a middleman, as far as I can make out, between people that want things done and people that have the 3D printing machines. That could be said to be somewhat of an exposed position to be in, because either people can start buying their own machines or the manufacturers can start approaching the end users directly. So you're potentially in a quite vulnerable situation. How do you protect that?
And following on from that, you mentioned there's a sort of quality control process where people get to check so if you are working with multiple suppliers, how will that work?
So the first one is, why the UK? Like, why do you specifically think the UK is the place to start this business? The second one is, in which industry in the UK you're going to own 80% of the market, that they have no choice whatsoever but use a middleman as opposed to go direct or buy it?
In terms of crowdsourcing, when you listed the sources of funding, what was your rationale behind why that would suit this particular business?
So good evening to everyone. My name is Agostino. I'm one of the co-founders of CYCL, a company created by my friend Luca and I almost 1 year ago. Nowadays, cycling is becoming more and more popular, especially in a big congested city like London, where usually a car is the slowest way to go from A to B. Unfortunately, being a cyclist means also be the weakest vehicle on the road. For those of you who doesn't know, this is a ghost bike. It's a memory of someone died on the spot. It tells the story of a father, a friend, a colleague who is no longer with us. Being hit by a car is a day-by-day reality for a cyclist, and is the nightmare of a life-changing call for their loved ones. As a company, we looked at what we can do to help, how we can save life. I'm here today to present you what we really believe will be one more leap toward a safer road for everyone.
We love cycling. It's the best way to get around town, and it keeps you fit, and it's great for the environment. But all too often we hear the sad news of cyclists getting injured. Every year over 19,000 cyclists are injured in the UK alone, with 75% of these accidents occurring at junctions. As traffic has increased, road vehicles have developed signalling systems to keep them safe and prevent accidents. This is not the case for bicycles that still use hand signals, not the best way to be safe and secure. Unsatisfied by current market offers, we came up with our solution. WingLights. WingLights are directional indicators for bicycles that flash amber at the ends of your handlebars, just like any motor vehicle. They are designed to make sure that you are seen and stay noticed when it's most needed, when turning or changing lanes, in all light and weather conditions. With a single tap, they emit a bright LED amber signal, visible by day and night. They are easy to fit. Once the mounts are positioned, the WingLights snap on in seconds. And when you secure your bike, they snap off and you leave with them. Once attached, they transform into a neat keyring with a carabiner to hang anywhere, with multiple usages, even as a hazard light. The lightweight aluminium design makes for a robust, water-resistant and durable product that is both elegant and functional.
We launched our product on Kickstarter last December with a successful campaign that was funded for almost 200%. Cyclists loved WingLights. We got a lot of positive reviews from specialized magazines and websites. Really a lot. Together with some great local press. Despite the presence on the market of a few similar products, we really do not have strong competitors, thanks to our patent-pending magnetic mounting system and our elegant lightweight aluminum design. All of this, together with a competitive price, let us already pre-sold more than 1,000 pieces, and we already have a queue of retailers and shops waiting to get their hands on our product. The market out there is huge. It is estimated that there are more than 2 billion bicycles in the world, with 35 million in the UK alone, with more than 20 million new bicycles sold every year in UK, in Europe. And this is an evolution that is due. If we look at the past, motorcycles before didn't have any direction indicators. They used to rely on hand signaling as well as bicycle. Then technology evolved, law changed, and nowadays having indicators is a reality for every motor vehicles. Despite this, nothing changed for bicycles that still rely on unsafe and frequently unseen hand signaling. So we are here today to give a brighter future to cyclists. We really do believe that in 5 years from now, direction indicators for bicycles will be as common as helmet and high visibility jackets. Together with the pipeline of bicycle product, we are already working on the evolution of WingLights, WingLights Connect, aiming to integrate a Bluetooth connection and provide the customer with a dedicated navigation app. Will be able to communicate directly with the indicators, so plan his journey and just rely on the indication provided by the indicators, without having any distraction from headphones or smartphone or whatever that take your attention out from the street. We are a well-balanced team with business and technical skills together with a strong academic background. We are also supported by UK Trade and Investment through the Sirius program and Oxygen Accelerator. So WingLights are available for pre-sale on our website at the reduced price of £24.99. So get yourself a couple of WingLights, tell to your friend, and join us making cycling safer for everyone. Thank you.
If I understand correctly, you activate them by having to actually press the end of the...
Yeah, you have to tap with your open hand.
Yeah. So in fact, you do still have to take your hands off the handlebars, and as you would do if you were putting your hand out.
I really like the project. It's very
Thank you.
nice. I'm interested in your stats on bicycle safety, and in that most accidents happen at junctions.
Yeah.
And these would be used at junctions.
Hopefully, yeah.
Seeing the logic, this is all good. My understanding is that a lot of these accidents are to do with the lack of visibility of the bike rather than the hand signal. The fact that they're in a vehicle blind spot, some of which are really quite large on larger vehicles. So I'm wondering how, to what extent do you think indicator lights on a bicycle would help in that sort of setting?
A couple of questions. First is, you say you've got a patent applied for. It's not enough to have a patent, although I hope you get one. You've got to be able to afford to defend the patent. So if you haven't got patent insurance, get it quickly. Particularly as your markup from your production cost to your selling cost is extraordinarily high. In your business plan, you talk about the production cost of between £3 and £4.50. So to be selling at £35, you will get a lot of competition. So I think the first question is, how do you justify the high price, given that whilst consumers may accept it, you're bound to have competition? And what makes you think that a patent is enough to stop competition?
have you been talking to the Department for Transport? I mean, obviously you've been doing quite a lot of research, but it struck me that if you had an endorsement from the government, that might make your product a bit more sellable.
What is the size of SafeTerm? What's the size of blinker grips? And what's the size of Iggy Signal Pod? I mean, how many sales are these guys making?
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Dr. Tamara Bagembe, and I'm here to talk about Helper Bees. It's a bit different. So life with a new baby goes a little something like this. You feed the baby, you change the baby, you settle the baby off to sleep, and if you're lucky, you've got 1 to 2 hours in which you can do all your chores before baby wakes up and you're back to feed baby, change baby, settle baby to sleep. This isn't such a problem in the first 2 weeks. Everybody's full of endorphins, dad's on paternity leave, your grandparents want to help, and it's all happy days. But somewhere around week 3 to 4, it starts to look like this. And if you've got more than one child, it looks like this. And you dare not invite your friends or your mother-in-law around because your house is a tip. The problem I've described is not unique. The survey that Redbook did of about 2,000 women, 91% of them said they wish they'd had some help with their newborn baby. If we just look at the 150,000 babies born in Greater London last year, that's 136,000 women wishing they had some help, or 9 out of 10 London families. A lot of these are young professionals that are in London away from their families. Maybe they're outside in the rest of the UK, maybe they're outside in Europe, but their families are not on their doorstep to help them. Women are being discharged a lot earlier than they used to in the past, and they just haven't recovered from the delivery. And also there are fewer health visitors, fewer midwives to support them in the community. Helper Bees is a niche nanny agency that focuses on supporting families with newborn babies. We'll come and look after your other kids, but we'll also do your cooking, your cleaning, your laundry, we'll walk your dog, whatever you need for you to feel human again. Helper Bees is unique because all the nannies are chosen by a pediatrician, myself, who knows about the qualifications you need to look after a newborn baby and which first aid course a nanny needs to have, and a mother that can tease out the nuances in the references. They'll know who's good and who's not. We're looking to employ people who are experts in newborn health and who can anticipate the problems these families are going to face and give them solutions. So for example, we've got a psychotherapist on that will help you introduce a newborn baby to its siblings. We've got a UNICEF-trained breastfeeding nanny. We've got one that does infant massage. That's great for the colicky baby. We've got an Italian nanny that cooks the best lasagna. And Helper Bees is modeled on a system in Holland called Kramzorg. It's a newborn helper service provided by the government. And in Holland, because of this service, they haven't proved causality, but most likely because of this service, they've got significantly lower rates of postnatal depression than the UK. When forming Helper Bees, we asked mothers what was important. They told us that they just can't book services in advance because they don't know when they're going to hit that wall. So we offered them an on-call service where we'll get someone to them within 2 days. They told us that they don't want a 6-month nanny contract. They just need someone to come in for a few hours a day, for a few days a week, to get their energy back. So we offered them a few packages from 3 days to 14 days, 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day. They told us that they just don't have the time and energy to go through CVs and recommendations, which is what happens when you call a conventional nanny agency. So we do all the vetting with them on the phone during a telephone consultation. A conventional nanny agency will send you someone with qualifications, but whether they're good with newborns, whether they can come at short notice, whether they'll do your laundry, it's all variable, and a new mother just doesn't have the time to call around checking these things out. A maternity nurse focuses on mom and baby. They won't look after your other kids, and they're definitely not going to wash your dishes. They usually work for around 2 weeks at maximum. Now, a babysitter will come at short notice, they'll do the odd shift here and there, but they just don't have the qualifications to give you that peace of mind to go and have a shower or go and have a nap. I don't want to upset anyone about their relatives here, but I don't think your mother-in-law has the expertise she claims to have about newborn babies. She'll come in, she'll do all the chores, but she'll remind you 10 years later when you're having Christmas dinner. And judgment is a big thing about new mothers. They don't want to ask for help because they feel they're going to be judged. And your mother-in-law may come at short notice, but she'll never leave. Helper Bees will provide someone who's got newborn expertise, qualifications, they'll come at short notice, they'll stay for a few hours, and you'll feel human again. So it's a booking service. We have a database of nannies that are looking to supplement their income. We charge £20 an hour for the service, £10 goes to the nanny, £10 goes to our running costs. We asked a focus group of mothers with 6-month-old to remember what it was like in those first 3 months. And we said, if you were to buy a package, if you wanted to, which package would you buy? And these are the answers there. We use their answers to project our anticipated monthly sales. And if we sold that distribution of packages every single month, our estimated income would be £113,000 annually. Half of that will go to the nannies, and our running costs will be about £28,000, giving us a profit of £30,000 in a year. And that's really modest. We anticipate to have 3 referrals for each parent that we serve, but also the more people we serve, the more the profit will go up because our running costs will stay pretty stagnant. Helper Bees is not a hypothetical company. We already have an established website where we're serving customers. We have a strong social media presence on Facebook and Twitter. We were at the baby show where we engaged with lots of pregnant ladies that were really excited that there was help available. And we've got a client who is a journalist at The Guardian, and she's going to write about her Helper Bees experience. Our dream is that your time with a newborn is a little less like this and a little more like this.
You've done a great job proving there's a market demand for this, but I think you're describing Mary Poppins or a Rolls Royce, so the perfect nanny who's childcare qualified and can do CPR on a baby, but will do washing my socks and cooking my dinner. So this is a real Mary Poppins, and you're only paying £19,000 a year for a full-time Mary Poppins. So £10 an hour grossed up. So I think there's a gap between what you're offering and your ability to recruit these sorts of people who will be that flexible. So if you're offering a Rolls-Royce service, you need to be paying your nannies a lot more than £10 an hour. Otherwise, you're going to have floor cleaners applying for the job.
2 quick questions for you. One, who's on your team? So you talked about what you're strong at. And secondly, I don't want to jump on the popular bandwagon at the moment, but I'm going to anyway. And that is, you'll have heard in the press about the Dolce & Gabbana story and Elton John and going backwards and forwards about what is a traditional family. I look at your imagery and I see lots of mums and dads and dogs and cats, and basically, is this, for the modern family where you've often got single dads or 2 men or 2 women bringing up families, young families, is this something you've taken into account, not just in terms of how you built the business, but in terms of how you use the imagery?
So you do 2 things, right? You look after the mother and the kid, and you look after the house, right? Basically. So in looking after the house, you're competing against BizBee, TaskRabbit, and all those guys that don't really have to care about childcare, right? So they get the first Polish builder, right? I use them, right? So they're amazing. To do paint or do the dishes and everything for £12 an hour. So like, isn't just looking after the kids the only thing you can do, and is that simply too small, that inevitably you have to compete with them or partner with them or something?
Or to put it in a slightly politically bad way, is that you need a lot of people on 0 hours contracts for you to show up and do stuff who are also qualified and maybe doing other things. How big is the supply side of the market? Have you dug into that, and at what point does that put the brakes on your own expansion?
How would you say that you're kind of differentiated from other people that are already providing these kinds of services?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to have this opportunity to introduce my business plan for Media App in Lifestyle Final event. Media App is a mobile phone program operated in iOS and Android platform. Media App helps Chinese visitors and students find information from varied categories with 10 seconds in London, such as restaurants, shopping, entertainment, education, rental car or flat, and socializers. Everyone can download for free at Apple App Store and Android Google Play. Also, Media App provides offline data to allow the user to search information in the underground or other poor internet services. Chinese visitors are potentially huge market for the London's West End. Already they are the highest spenders, particularly on luxury goods in the Bond Street and flagship store on the Oxford Street and the Regent Street. However, they have the English are not their first language, so they can't find the right place they want and the limited travel times. So Meeting app is designed for them, for Chinese visitors and students to find the safe time to find the place eating or shopping within 10 seconds. It's a very short time. And the Meeting app is about the facilitating development of the British economy and especially of the tourism and commerce. Most of the Meeting app's users are the Chinese university student. Oh, how to do that? Sorry. Okay, it's over. Oh yeah, thank you. Sorry. Most of the Meeting app's users from the Chinese university student. We will cooperate with the CYCL UK. They have over 100,000 student members, and about every year have 30,000 students fresh year come to the from China come to the UK every year. The source is from the Home Office. The reason of I choose the Chinese student and visitor as my first target user is that the consumption levels of them are already satisfied. They have the well education and high wages, and also Chinese students' parents will come to London at least once when they were graduating from the university or summer holiday, Christmas and New Year. They always spend a lot of money for their travel and luxury goods. And also, however, if I choose the generally local people as my first target, the marketing strategy will very difficult. No, it's very different for each class. And also, we have the 4 track for them to help the establish strategy partnership to achieve more competitive market position. First of all, we charge service fee £610 per month, and then from the store as a promotion fee. Also, we charge a 10% commission fee from them to if they have some events with the Meeting app. Also, certainly, when user booking something through our Meeting app, we also charge some fees, commission fees from them. The user will get the compound to have the discount with the stores. In addition to the maturity information of the consumer reviews, Meeting app also provides group buying, online reservation, online restaurant reservation, and takeout service in compound promotion and other O2O services. In the short term, our aim is to try and to grow the capacity of the business information is about 10% each month from the 10 business, and then to achieve totally sales about more than totally about the 100,000 pounds first year. And for the year 2 and year 3, we plan to continue to grow the business by 15% per month. Expand to search the other city, for example, Cardiff. In the long term, we following successful expansion in the local region, and then we could to expansion additional country like the US. Most of my competitors are UGC. It means user-generated content. From China, we have the Meituan, Baidu Nuomi, Dazhong Dianping. From others, we have the Yep, Hungry House, Just Eat, and Gumtree. But everyone could upload the picture and the text to the platform for free. Most of business platforms seems disorganized and not credible. due to the poor photography technique and typing. However, Media app is use occupational generic content and professional generic content. It means OGC and PGC. PGC pattern classification more professional and highly content quality. We do the professional planning for our business content, including photograph, planning, design, AT information, implementation, product promotion, and so on. My final point is Media app is a local startup with a high profit. It has power to give big impact with the British economy and convenient for Chinese people to stay here, study and travel in London. Thank you.
A few things. You talk about monetization, you talk about profits, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would not worry at the stage you're at about monetizing anything. I think I would build the volume of users. So you can move a lot of people at that point, monetize, because if you can move a lot of people into restaurants, 10% could be conservative. You could ask 30%,
Mm-hmm.
and which is illegal almost, right? But they would lose money on you. But that's the point. Like you can move so many people that people would pay you an enormous amount of money just to fill tables, right? The first thing. The second thing, if I remember correctly, in your application you talk about chat.
Sorry?
True? You talk about like instant messaging in your app?
No, it's just an app. No,
Okay.
no message, yeah.
Okay, well, maybe I misread. You should add instant messaging.
Mhm.
Your competitor is not Yelp. Is not
If you booking something or booking a reservation from the Meeting will give you the message, have that you already booking.
understand.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm saying. Your competitor, like Yelp, Gumtree, or even
Yeah.
Baidu, they're not your competitors. Your competitors is Tencent and their messaging app, right? You have a potential to enter that market, which is the biggest market you can possibly think of, like WhatsApp, Line, WeChat, Telegram, right? They're all playing this market, and you have a way to acquire customers, right? In a captive way. You can achieve scale in this market, like you talk about 100,000 users, right? Only in potential users, only in London. And by adding chat, you can expand this, adding chat, voice calls, and everything, right? And have an enormous messaging app, which is like Line, right? With e-commerce on top of it. And the other thing, do you have any co-founders, any technical co-founders?
Hi.
From your written business plan, I seem to recall that you noted that when you have friends and family come to stay with you in London, that they ask for recommendations. Where can they go? Where's good for shopping? Where's good to eat? And beyond the obvious answers, sometimes you struggle to give a good recommendation. Now, your target audience in terms of users seems to be, as far as I've understood, quite a defined population, Chinese, quite wealthy, typically, perhaps looking for a certain type of shop or restaurant. So what I'm wondering is how, and you also note that it'll be professionally generated content rather than other users recommending, I shopped here, I ate here, and it was good. So I'm wondering who will be producing this content for you, and how will they be sourcing their ideas?
So
Yeah.
if you're going for professionally generated content per store or per restaurant, and you have to negotiate with each store or restaurant,
Yes.
you're creating a huge cost, because that's very, very expensive to do. And then if you're saying it needs to keep being updated, and restaurants change their menu every 3 months, you create another massive cost. So I don't know if you've thought through properly the logistics of creating content for your audience, if it is your editorship or the restaurant's editorship creation with your editorship over there.
Quick question from me. You've talked about your team. Does anybody on your team have any commercial experience?
Okay, so my name's Ryan Barnes. I'm a third-year physical geographer, and this is Susanna, who's a fourth-year dentist. 51% of people in the UK have experienced a cyber attack in their lifetime. Cybercrime is up 14% this year compared to last year, and we think we've got a solution. Here it is. It's called the Phonas Freedom 8GB. It's a USB live system that you plug into your computer, you reboot it, and you're secure. We've pre-installed the most powerful security software, Tails and Tor, inside ready to go, and we provide comprehensive customer support to every one of our users. We sell it online on our website, which is HTTPS encrypted for fast, safe transactions. So behind me is a bit about what it does, but ignore that for now, because it's essentially just invisible ink for your information. And this is what it looks like when you're using it. So this was me working on some top secret Christmas presents. That's PGP, the industry standard for encryption for files and emails. And that's just some security tools for safety against things like keyloggers. So I'm going to pass you over to Susie now.
So our USP is the creation of a user-friendly way to use Tor and Tails safely. And we are targeting professionals who need internet privacy and document protection at home, at work, and even abroad. Currently, our market is growing. More and more people are taking computer security into their own hands, and modern professionals are looking for a fresh solution to an ever-growing threat.
So one of the best ways we can think about our consumers is a case study. So I'm going to run you through those really quick. Imagine Mr. L's a lawyer working for intellectual property. He needs to maintain his client's privacy over anything else. PhoneAs enables that. Even if he leaves his laptop and his PhoneAs device on a train, it's still going to be safe. Also, it provides state-of-the-art secure encryption to him and anyone he needs to talk to, making sure no one can snoop on his client-advocate confidentiality. So Miss J is another example who could be a journalist working overseas. Now here, PhoneAs will protect her identity when she's communicating online, which is absolutely crucial when talking about things like this. PhoneAs masks her internet access and masks her web, so it's impossible to tell where she is. And it also has an amnesia feature, so if someone was coming into her room to seize her laptop, all she has to do is unplug the device and her entire session's wiped, leaving her secure files inaccessible to anybody else.
Okay, so we do have some competitors. There are already other vendors selling similar devices on eBay or over in the United States at the moment, and we do have competition with other security software distributors such as Norton Antivirus and McAfee. So what exactly separates us from them? Well, we are a UK-based company based in London, and we distribute to the UK. A percentage of our profits we will donate to the Tail and Tours organizations, something that our competitors just are not doing. We are going to do this because we believe that it is extremely important to support the open source community, and it prevents us from being exploitative, keeping the developers doing what they do. Our main focus is customer support, and this is crucial. So currently we do have a Facebook page, a Twitter page, and also our website, as Rowan showed you earlier. And we want ideally to get a YouTube channel, which is that our customers can log on to and watch tutorials in how to use PhoneAs. And we want to work with our clients to develop some training days and workshops to educate their employees in how best to use PhoneAs and get the most from it. We are currently in talks with private developers about getting our own exclusive software that makes Tails more user-friendly. And there are some other key points up there.
Okay, so here's a quick glance at our finances, and the main thing I want to draw attention to is our gross profit, not revenue. Our gross profit is actually 6.6 times unit cost. So we've got a lot of breathing room there for marketing and customer engagement. Next up, we've got a graph showing our investment versus returns. We're aiming for 1,000 units to be sold by June 2017, which is just the PhoneAs Freedom 8 GB. By that time, we'll be looking to diversify. So our personal investment stands at just £500, which has purchased £2,000 worth of stock.
So we do have some hurdles and some risks as well. So one of those risks is product sustainability. We need Tours and Tails to stay alive so that we can also stay alive. As of January 2015, David Cameron gave a speech in the House of Commons announcing that he wanted to ban any encryption that did not have a backdoor entry for security purposes. As these problems arise, we will deal with them as they come. Our future is basically dependent on 3 points, which Ryan will go over in detail. Those 3 are an increase in turnover. We want to also diversify the product range, and we want to constant market evaluation also.
So in the first year, we expect to be operating well into the black. We only need to sell 15 units to cover cost at the moment. We're going to look at diversifying into 32 and 64 GB variants to satisfy market needs. And by this time, our YouTube will be up and working, and we'll have workshops and programs ready to take advantage of that lucrative training market. In 3 years' time, we want to be selling across Europe and take on some more members of the team to help facilitate that growth. we'll be working with larger clients on a greater volume, and we'll also be looking at developing specialist hardware, maybe based on things such as the Raspberry Pi. In 5 years' time, we want to be building the Phonos brand to develop a computer security consultancy or auditing company, and that will basically provide holistic network solutions to small to medium enterprises on the back of the brand that we've been making for the past 5 years. There's a small chance that USB devices will just cease to be relevant in 5 years, so that's something we're already planning for now. So we've been Phonos. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll be taking lead on questions.
You don't know your market, or you've done research and you reached the wrong assumptions. First of all, there is no such thing as a UK market in security. There is only a US market. The rest of the world doesn't matter, unless you're in China, in which case there's a Chinese market, but you're not in China. The other thing is you picked probably the two least useful customers you can possibly think of, which are journalists and lawyers, which traditionally, until recently, they thought they had sort of legal protection, right? So they never bought anything, and they're incredibly resistant to change, lawyers specifically, right? So you're not gonna sell anything to those guys. The third thing is your packaging tails on stick, right? Which is something you have no protection whatsoever, that anyone could come up tomorrow and do exactly the same product, and there's nothing unique about what you're doing, and in fact they're doing it already. On top of this, they were doing it before Tails. Like I've seen stuff like this with Citrix 10 years ago, and nobody were buying them. It's extremely fragmented. There is no clear path to market. There is no clear path to scale. And yeah, so I appreciate, and after post-Snowden, the world is slightly different. I don't think you guys have the solution to the problem.
You said that you feel good if you sold 1,000 units by June 2017, which is just over 2 years away now. 1,000 units is 40 grand's worth of sales.
Yep.
Which means you can't live off the business.
Yep.
And you said there's 10,000 tour users around the world. That seems like a really, really small market. And so I don't see the business here. I just see this as a bit of a hobby.
Wondering if you can tell us how you get around potential governmental issues, because clearly if this gets into the wrong hands, you don't really want criminals and terrorists having this.
Good evening, Lions. It is a privilege to present to you Nanak Therapeutics, a fantastic investment opportunity in the biopharma area. My name is Edward, and together with my team members, we have a complementary expertise in gene therapy, bioinformatics, vaccine, immunology, virology, and microcapsule engineering. And we want to develop a unique flu vaccine. Why flu? Each year, seasonal flu bombards us with the familiar sore throat, fever, headache that affects approximately 500 million people. And it has a high risk of respiratory complications, particularly to the vulnerable people in the society, the elderly and the children. Although new flu vaccines are produced every year, there is a global unmet need of a broadly protective vaccine. The current frontline manufacturers have two major problems. Their products have variable efficacy, and it's due to antigenic drift mutations in the seasonal strains. And this year, the flu vaccines we have in the UK is useless, as only 3% of the population is protected. Another problem is the long development cycle, as their technology is egg-based and cell culture-based. And it takes them 6 months to, the turnaround time is 6 months. That's not good in times of pandemic. And this was the case in 2009, where vaccines became available only after human infections peaked, affecting millions of people. At Nanovac, we offer a tangible solution to this problem by creating viral-like capsule that could be manufactured very quickly. And by quickly, I mean making millions of doses within few weeks. The reason is we don't have to use genetic engineering. It's not egg-based, and there is no cell culture. We have a platform technology that has 3 unique features. One is the multi-layer depot epitope presentation for greater bioavailability, and we can use novel conjugates for improved display of epitopes, and we have stable coating of our constructs, which allow long vascular dwell time, improving the half-life. We will use this platform to generate broadly protective flu vaccine. And we intend to pick epitopes from the conserved stem region. This has been stable for the past 100 years. And we will incorporate epitopes from the head, which is the drifting part of this virus. And we will be able to make a product that matches many wide circulating strains of this virus. And that will give us a broader protection against drift and greater biological and immunological profile. So far, we have a platform established, and this platform is patent protected at a multinational stage. And in a separate product development studies, our platform has been shown to generate antibody neutralization against malaria and RSV virus in mice and rhesus monkey. This shows the microcapsule, and it could be scaled down to a few hundred nanometers. And the picture in the middle is the electron microscopic image of the coating where the epitopes will be incorporated. And this data shows antibody neutralization with our epitopes compared with live RSV virus, pre and post viral challenge. In terms of market, the market for this kind of product is huge. The US intends to vaccinate the entire population. That is 300 million doses. And we predicted a global market size of 1,000 million doses per annum. If we can achieve just 10% of this market size, that translates to £1 billion per annum in gross sales, just at £10 per dose. In terms of the market access, it is a low barrier, as a lot of private investment is already in this field. This is our plan. With 200,000 seed funding, we intend to generate epitope selection and design our prototype and generate antibody studies in mice. And with further funding, we will do toxicology, manufacturing GMP, and this will enable us to proceed to the next milestone of phase 1 and phase 1/2 clinical trials, at which point the investor will exit and take returns. We believe at Nanovac we can do better in flu vaccine because we can provide more effective, universal, and long-lasting influenza vaccines to treat all strains of influenza. And with our depot delivery system, we could offer consistent efficacy and good safety. With our reduced turnaround time, we're able to respond very quickly in times of pandemic, and our platform is protected and has been validated in mice. We have a strong team with track record in licensing and spin-out. We need just £200,000 to get proof of concept data to leverage further funding. Thank you very much for listening.
So, lots of questions. The first is, if you target the tail, not the head, I presume it's lifetime immunity for the patient, which is great, but it means you don't sell 100 million a year, because by that time you'll be doing the volume, annual volume will come down, because I need to be done once every 20 years, not every year.
Okay.
At some time, at some stage, you need to start doing business things, not research things. So the challenge is, why is now the right time? Have you got the opportunity to get more funding from research councils or Wellcome Trust, translational research, and use that funding to carry it going forward? Do you really need commercial money now?
Leave that slide up a minute. I have two very, very simple questions. Number one, when will the first sales be made? In other words, when will you get income as opposed to investment? And number two, what is the business model?
So, just to be absolutely clear, it says 2014, you had raised a £200,000 grant. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
And you're looking for another seed round of £200,000 right now?
Yes.
Can you tell us where, it may well be in the business plan, apologies, but can you tell us where that £200,000 grant came from and where you hope to get that £200,000 seed round.
Just a question on the IP side. So who have you actually had the funding from now, and who actually owns your intellectual property?
Hello. I have a question around, you mentioned that that you have patent interests. In your written business plan, you noted that this was a technology that you use in the course of your research. And you also gave us a reference to some publications on one of your slides. So I'm kind of interested in the balance between what's been published, what's patentable, you know, where the research and the business overlap, where the boundaries are.
Today we're going to present you the idea of social art network. For this project, I'm in charge of marketing and legal and sharing with Jean business development, and Jean here is in charge of finance and operations. So, the online art market is new, rapidly growing, and changing how people consume and buy art. According to 2014 online trade report, it's been worth $1.6 billion dollars worldwide in 2013. It's currently just 5% of the online of the art market in the world, and it's growing 19%. However, for 2018, it's forecasted to more than double. In terms of customers, we plan to focus on Facebook generation, and in particular young urban professionals. As it's been often quoted, only in the UK, 11 million users spend 1 hour on Facebook every day, and 3.4 million check their Facebook more than 10 times a day. Importantly, for our purposes, we know that people not just socialize online, but also buy art online. And significantly, 22% of those 20 to 30-year-olds already bought their first artwork online. So the opportunity lays there. Research indicates that online customers would be receptive of our proposed business model. 40% of art collectors find galleries and auction houses quite intimidating because art is still seen quite exclusive. And 50% of aspiring art collectors already visit existing websites at least once a week. Amongst those, 53% are under 35s, and here's our future customer base. We also know that for online shopping, browsing is key. So to keep the customer on the website and make them discover, browse, talk about, learn about art is essential for the proposed business model. Of course, some art galleries have already already exist online, and overall the market, there are 3 kinds of players as we identified. But none of them, however, match what we propose. So first, here's how the market is structured. First, there are art specialists. They are online galleries, large auction houses such as Christie's, Arts, Versace Art. They're web-based, they are rich in content and curated. They're also luxury generalists. They're normally app-based. They sell art among other high-end apparel, jewelry, furniture, but they're limited in content. Also, there are artist networks. They just focus on discussing art. They're not transactional and non-user-friendly, because we tried them as well. And we're proposing to do something completely different, and Jean will talk you through the business model. Sorry.
So buying art is a social activity in which the reputation of the seller is absolutely central. And I want you to keep that in mind, because this is very different. That's why we are very different. We want to create a hybrid platform, which would be both a social network and a selling platform. And we want to obtain this reputation with 2 key innovative elements. First, we want to have a pre-curated offer. That means that every artwork that will be put on the website will have to need our agreement. Let's say that it has to be an original artwork and have all the usual legal guarantees. The second key element is the professional reputation. We want to make partnership with institutions, universities, art historians, critics, and we want to target students. Basically, what we want is to give a platform of expression to everyone who might have a serious opinion about an artist, an artwork, or a gallery. So this is the website prototype. You can see, so that's, so everyone, whether you are an artist, a gallery, or an individual, you'll be able to open an online store, you'll be able to buy, you'll be able to comment, or something else, or you'll be able to, never mind. So you'll be able to do thematic research here on By Art. You'll be able to check your network's actuality. That's what I forgot, is that you can follow people. And you can join discussion groups. You'll have a news feed from other users. Sorry. You have a news feed from other users. The more reputed you are, the more visible you are. So see you have many followers, you are more visible. And here you have a pre-selection of artworks made by us. So our business model is quite simple. The website is free for everyone who wants to create a profile, buy, or comment. We only take a 10% commission on every transaction. And for comparison, galleries and auction houses take between 20 and 50. And we'll have a premium membership of £200 a year, which is a lot, but it's in line with the market. And this premium membership will be needed if you want to put something to sell on the website, whether you're a gallery, a collector, or an artist. And for the delivery charge, we won't have any because we are not responsible for a sale. We just put the seller and the buyer together. We only collect the delivery expenses on the behalf of the seller. So one of our competitors, according to this, we will pay back when we reach 15,000 users. That should happen between year 2 and 3. But one of our direct competitor, Adspur, has already 50,000 users in less than 2 years, and it's essentially based in France. And I'm doing an internship with them next month, and I intend to discover all the commercial secrets.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support, yes.
Which you talk about Facebook, right, being the, your target and everything. Majority of the activity on Facebook happens on the mobile, and you guys are not a mobile-first company. Why is that?
In your business plan, you don't have much cost for curating the website, creating content, moderating comments, because again, there's a clear moderator role. So how much of the content is your generation, and hence it's loyalty to you, and how much is it just under your umbrella, and hence associated with you, but actually you have no input into the content?
Am I right in saying that if I'm an aspiring artist, I would need to pay £200 per annum for membership of your site? Is that right? When you said it, actually, it seemed rather high, but it was in line with the market.
It is.
It just struck me that, I mean, for the other players, absolutely, but for an artist, if I'm an aspiring artist, £200 just seems like an awful lot at the beginning. I can see many artists being able to afford that, but they're already established artists. So just an observation, really.
On the one hand, one might think that setting up a website is fairly low in terms of barriers to entry. How are you going to protect your position once you do start up? Because if it is an attractive proposition, I would have thought that this is something that could be replicated quite easily by other people. So what have you got in mind to try and protect the position that you built?
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. My name is Lee Martin. I'm actually a registered dietitian, and I used to work for the NHS, and when I did, I saw a lot of patients with dementia, and the hardest part of my job was actually getting them to eat. And that became my motivation for creating the Dmat, which is a practical resource that empowers anyone caring for someone with dementia to create a dementia-friendly mealtime. My vision is for the Dmat to become the go-to resource for anyone dealing with mealtime difficulties in dementia. I think we all know the prevalence of dementia is increasing worldwide due to an aging population. It costs an awful lot of money, with most of those costs falling on people with dementia and their families. And the situation at the moment is the longer you live, the higher your chances of getting dementia. So dementia affects your ability to eat and drink. And so someone with dementia might not even recognize that it's a mealtime, or they can't use the cutlery in front of them, or if they do manage to get food to their mouth, then they have problems swallowing or chewing their food. 80% of carers are worried about this feeding process, although perhaps more worryingly is most of them don't know where to go to get help, and they often describe this as a feeling of powerlessness. So the Dmat provides a solution to this problem, and it works in 3 easy steps. So first of all, you observe the person with dementia at a mealtime to measure the feeding difficulty, and you simply tick off what it is that you observe. The Dmat will then provide you with simple, practical, and cost-effective solutions to overcome these problems. You then implement your chosen intervention and you continue to use the Dmat to monitor its effectiveness. So for example, it might suggest you trial adapted cutlery, and this particular sort of dementia-friendly Eat Well set you see actually won the 2014 Stanford Design Challenge, so this is fast becoming a hot topic. My target market is unpaid carers, which is a growing market, and obviously as rates of dementia increase, then the percentage of unpaid carers will also increase. The Dmat integrates health and social care, and so it can move into the health, social care and home healthcare market, which is actually the fastest growing sector in the UK, the home healthcare market. So I don't have any direct competitors, no one's doing what I'm doing. However, there are plenty of indirect competitors. So anyone who's providing training, books or other resources on nutrition and dementia is an indirect competitor. The Dmat is unique, however, as it places a lot of complex information and previously unavailable information in one easy to use and most importantly practical resource which the competition lacks. They are also overlooking the market segment which I'm looking at. So regarding the business model and revenue, the Dmat will be available in 3 formats. So an app will be developed and revenue will be from paid downloads, although that isn't finalized. There are other models I could explore. For those who don't have access to an to an app, and here I'm thinking large NHS organizations, workers, then an online system could be created. Although, to start with, what I'm going to concentrate on is a web-based system where users will log on and they can print off the Dmat. And this will work on a license and monthly or annual subscription fees. And there'll be different price points for different types of users. The Dmat is a web-based business. It has low startup and low running costs. The figures you see here are based on a £5 selling price, which would be the basic sales price, and I would expect revenue to double each year. So during startup, I plan to utilize social media and other forms of sort of free advertising and engagement. So I thought I would test that out actually. So since the application went in 3 weeks ago, I created just a WordPress website, and on the website I had a free sample download of the Dmat. And I engaged in Twitter using sort of dementia events and dementia hashtags to sort of drive people to the website. And so I engaged in 8 direct marketing tweets, and that sent 83 people to the site, 32 of which downloaded the Dmat, and 7 people contacted me for more information. It also allowed me to connect with people who deal directly with my target market. So CareWatch, for example, they're an organisation been around for 20 years and support carers and home care services. They've, for example, asked me to write a blog for them. I do think that the Dmat will make a significant impact on people's lives, and I'm actually reducing my hours at work at the end of next month to concentrate on some next steps. And I think that I need to really think about protecting the Dmat before I launch the web-based system, and I also need to finalize the price points for that web-based system as well. I've really created a niche for myself in this field. Just in the last month, I've been commissioned by Hillingdon Public Health to provide training to carers on dementia and related to the Dmat. And I've also been contacted by Jessica Kingsley Publishers to write a practical book on nutrition and dementia. Thank you all very much for listening, and happy St. Patrick's Day to anyone out there as well. Thank you very much.
What I'm not sure is what stops me just copying what you've got, and making a few changes, and then using the insights and expertise you've developed to undercut you. I think that there may be a very good consulting model here where you can teach people how to use your tools, whether those people are carers, the Alzheimer's Society and all the rest. But I'm not sure if you've captured in the business plan how you protect the business and how you grow it just by selling a piece of paper that I can photocopy and give to my mate.
I'm wondering whether you've done any research about your potential end user and their propensity to have smartphones or not, because you're saying that by and large are going to be unpaid carers, probably spouses of the person that's got dementia. Therefore, they're most likely to be fairly elderly themselves. And I would have thought that perhaps they're not really the prime people that are going to be having smartphones and using apps.
And we've heard about a response to the opportunity for mass customization of production of 3D printed components. We've heard about a practical safety innovation for cyclists. We have heard about how short-term care can be provided to families with new babies. We have heard about helping Chinese visitors and students find information on London. We have heard about a business based on a new secure computing solution. We have heard about how artificial virus technology can revolutionize vaccine production. We have heard about how art lovers can get better access to new works. And we have heard about practical resources can be made available for carers of those with dementia. Every one of these, a new business in the making.
And the first winner for Best Idea is Helper Bees.
And the other winner is?
Wait, I haven't opened it yet.
Suspense.
CYCL WingLights.
It's a great privilege to be able to announce the winner of the best pitch.
And the winner is CYCL WingLights.
I'm really excited to have won. It's given me a lot of confidence to take my business forward, that my idea is good, and they've highlighted some areas where I can grow and make things even better for Helper Bees.
It was a great experience, I have to say. A really nice environment with really prepared judges. So you have to be ready to get hard questions. And I think the main thing here is to prepare a great application before. As far as I've seen, is one of the most complex applications that I have prepared since I've started this business.
I'd suggest that anybody who has a business idea give Lions Den a go. They will show you how to develop your idea in the classes, and it's such a fun experience.